First of all, I have a handout for the end of the presentation, so if something like strikes you, feel free to take a note, but we have to move fast to cover a book in 30 minutes or so. So don't spend your time trying to take notes. Just sit and listen. My name is John Rallison. I have known John Brooks for 19 years,
Long time.
I think. Yeah, a long time. So I've done several things in my life. I've been in industrial engineering. I've been a pastor. Currently I'm a math and science teacher. And this is another thing I do because I love knowledge. And there's just so many good books out there. And I know a lot of people who don't read. And by not reading, they miss out on a lot of things. Or they hand out books to their team to read. And the books just gather dust. So this is my solution to that problem. Every business solves a problem. And that's the problem I solve. And that's all you need to know about me, because this isn't about me. It's about Daniel Coyle's book, The Culture Code. And so we're going to try and whip through this in 30 minutes or less.
Let me just add, and this kind of dovetails, everybody should have seen the note from Sonia, the rolling library that we just kind of moved out. This fits perfectly with that, right? With the idea that there are a lot of good resources out there. Everybody should take advantage of that. And this is another way to get more information and get it disseminated quickly and take advantage of that stuff. So
great. Thanks, John. Okay, so the question from the Culture Code is, by the way, I did not know how big the screen was in here, so I set it in very large type, because some conference rooms have little screens, so none of you can take off your glasses and relax, right, with this size type. Daniel Coyle's opening question was, why do certain groups add up to be the sum of their great sum of their parts, while others add up to be less? There's some sort of synergy in groups where some really like click and move and some of them don't. And so that's his question he was asking. The thing that kind of stimulated his research along this line is a thing called the Tower Experiment. The way the Tower Experiment works is you get groups of 4 people, 20 pieces of uncooked spaghetti, a yard of tape, a yard of string, 1 marshmallow, and you have to build the tallest tower you can with the caveat that the marshmallow has to be on top. And so this experiment originally started with teams of kindergartners and business school students at Stanford and UC System and the University of Tokyo and a few other places. And since then, it's been repeated all over the place. And here's some of the results. Who built the tallest tower? Unfortunately, the business school students, we got to give them a little slack because they're still students, right? How many of you learned something since school? Like the way real life works, right? So the business school students managed to build towers that are 10 inches tall. Some other people, lawyers, managed to get that tower 15 inches tall. CEOs came in pretty good, 22 inches tall. And the winner of this contest is, you're smiling, it's the kindergartners. They managed to build an average tower that is 26 inches tall. So what's that about? The adults look like they're collaborating on the project, but their mind is actually doing something different. They're engaged in a process that psychologists call status management. They're trying to figure out the relationships, and the kindergartners couldn't care less. They're just like grabbing things. Give me that. No, that's not going to work. That'll work great. Where the adults are trying to figure out who's in charge. Is it okay to criticize someone else's idea? What are the rules in this environment? And so obviously that drastically diminishes the productivity on whatever the actual project they're working on is. Here's what he says. Group culture is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. We sense its presence inside successful businesses, championship teams, and thriving families. We sense it when it's absent or toxic. We can measure its bottom line impact. A strong culture increases the net income by 756% over 11 years, according to a Harvard study of more than 200 companies. So there's something about this idea where people are tied together by their culture. If it's a positive culture, obviously, that pushes up the bottom line, even as it makes it a better place to work.